How the f did we end up in the back rooms? With Halo Campaign Evolved dropping at the end of July, I figured it was only fair to boot up the original Halo one last time before it gets replaced by the community and glazed into oblivion.
They call it Halo.
Don't get me wrong, I think the new game looks great, but since I'm not cool enough to get the beta demo that Halo Studios sent out to a dozen other creators, I figured I'm gonna prep myself in the only way I know how. Because this game is not just important to me, but millions of other fans out there. Is it the best game ever made? I don't know. As far as the history of video gaming goes, it's definitely in the conversation.
This is gonna be your lucky day.
The original concept started as a real-time strategy game for Macintosh before evolving into a third-person shooter at that time, so if you see someone on Twitter complaining about the new third-person perspective skull, it's only because they don't know ball. Then Microsoft buys Bungie in 2000, and suddenly the whole thing becomes the flagship game for the Xbox.
It's really nice not to be showing you a movie today, and although it makes me very nervous to actually play this for you, I am going to be playing Halo in the flesh on the Xbox. On behalf of the whole Halo team, thanks a lot for coming, and welcome to Halo on the Xbox.
The team had barely a year and a half to transform it into a first-person shooter, but what's crazy is a lot of the game's DNA still shows the RTS roots. Marines and Covenant squads are fighting independently, and pretty much all the enemies as a whole are reacting dynamically instead of standing around and waiting to get shot. Bungie was somehow rebuilding their plane while flying it at the exact same time. Or maybe it was a Pelican. And somehow the result ended up defining console shooters for the next decade. So today, we're gonna go back to 2001, back when Master Chief looked like he was only made out of 6 polygons, sexy as ever, and doing so launched an entire generation of gamers, developers, and a few wars that may or may not be back on. I don't know, you guys, things are looking pretty grim. So I'm just gonna play this campaign for the millionth time and see if it still hits as hard as I think it does, or if it's just my nostalgia talking, or maybe I've been drinking that orange Mountain Dew for a little bit too long. You know, 25 years of whatever the f that's doing to my gut has got to be doing something. And yeah, if I was being a purist, I'd probably take my Game of the Year edition and put it into my original Xbox, play it on the CRT, and see it in that 4:3 original aspect ratio that it was supposed to be viewed in. But honestly, recording off this television is so annoying. And yes, I am such a huge sucker for the original menu screen, but you know, MCC is just the easiest way to get this done today. And the intended difficulty is heroic, so that's what we're going to be playing. I don't give a f if you think I should be doing legendary right now.
Am I right, Marine? Sir, yes, sir!
It's kind of funny how back in 2001, nobody really knew what the Xbox was or was going to be, and Bungie had the impossible task of convincing people they needed one. And when you think about the Pillar of Autumn mission, it does a ton of that heavy lifting. This mission alone just like sinks me in, not just to the story and the gameplay, but I think it tricked a lot of people into coming over to that ecosystem for the first time. This opening shot is still just so iconic. I think the new one, the new slip space rupture, looks so cool, but there's something so simple about this that feels classic sci-fi Star Wars almost of that time.
You heard the lady. Move like you got a purpose.
Damn, they got that Michael Jackson moves. There he is. Just gonna give him a little room to do what he's gonna do, and sorry, Jeremy. You actually don't need to run all the way to the bridge here. You could just sort of like do this back up once you've made it this far, and cutscene will start.
Sleep well?
No thanks to your driving, yes.
So you did miss me.
I just love how sassy Cortana is right from the get-go. I've been hearing in a couple videos now that Jen Taylor's new performance is almost more innocent and childlike, almost more like the Weapons performance, which I don't know that I agree or like that decision, but you know, it's a remake, a reimagining. I just think so definitively about Halo 1 and Halo 2 that that's such a big part of her performance, so I hope that that's not too lost.
Yank me.
Hey, yo!
Don't keep it loaded, son. You'll have to find ammo as you go.
This level is just so fucking cool. I know it's claustrophobic and it's not everyone's favorite thing in the world, but I love it. And I know the assault rifle is fucking terrible in this game. There's a bajillion bullets, but elites are just bullet sponges. Just fucking die. We're supposed to pick up a plasma pistol as soon as possible. That's just the meta. You run with double pistols and you're gonna destroy on this level. But I kind of want to play the game today the way the devs intended me to play it. And they wanted me running through these hallways, spraying and praying, and feeling like I'm fighting for my life. F that guy. What are you doing in the corner, bud? I also saw in some videos that these are no longer physical items, the power-ups. They're more like things in Reach. They're like holograms that you pick up items and you just deploy them whenever you want. I don't know, a little weird. I don't think I care, but a little weird. I'm getting really lucky with these sticks. Okay, I should have... Oh, Still works. All right, well, I guess I'm gonna become what I said I wasn't gonna do. It's just so satisfying. We're flying through this thing. I am a little sad that the Magnum's not gonna feel as good as it used to feel. But honestly, all this time later, and the fact that I'm playing this on PC and not on an Xbox, it really is an OP weapon. Oh, 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 well, that Marine's dead. I wonder what happened to him. Oh god, that one too. Get another overshield. But the fact that we got rid of health packs in this game kind of defeats the purpose a little bit, in my opinion. It's such a big part of this and ODST, that feeling that the Mark V just isn't as strong. But you know, I guess modern gamers would hate that. The idea of like timing all these fights right and getting your health up right is such a big part of this game to me, or at least the replayability, and especially playing it on higher difficulties. Oh god, oh f***, oh f***. Good stick. What is he doing? After everything I said about the AI in this game, and you're just gonna f***ing stand there like that? We're fine. We're fine. 25 years and I'm still getting lost in this f***ing labyrinth. F***, you got right in the way. That was such a good stick. Think I got him? Yes. I think my favorite thing about these enemy designs, their silhouettes are so well defined because you weren't going to be able to see them as close up, and then even at this perspective, that silhouette is still so clear and really like telling you when you can or can't push a fight. You know, honestly, when you're thinking about it in this level, you just push on forward. There are so many people that just run through this level. Like, honestly, I kind of didn't realize the level was over already.
I don't want to die out here.
Oh, you're gonna be just fine. Actually, everyone in this cabin will die. And the only reason why everyone dies is because Master Chief is too much of a G to actually sit down and put his fucking seatbelt on, so the moment that they crash, and he just basically smashes into everybody and kills them. Alright, we're gonna crash and...
Chief? Chief, can you hear me?
Yeah. We killed everyone. If we had just worn our seatbelt, kids. Look what we've done. So by no means am I a speedrunner, but I do have to say that this section of the game does have one of my favorite and possibly easiest tricks to do. We rush over here, jump with this rock, this little curb, and throw a nade, and we're just gonna hop. And there you go. You don't get to go on the bridge, but now you've despawned the Banshees as well as this whole stretch of enemies, but you also get to admire a lot more of the setting here. This first level just does so much. It's really hard to kind of picture it now, but I mean, just look at this. Another thing that a lot of speedrunners do in this section is basically kill all of the Marines, because then the dropships come faster and you're not having to fight and wait around for the spawns as long. Just like with the assault rifle, I kind of want to play this game the way the game wants me to play it.
Good to see you, sir.
Where's the gentleman?
It's a mess, sir.
You know, Johnson is always like one of the first Marines to die in this section of the game, which is just, wait, what the f***? Holy sh**. I don't know that I've ever appreciated this before. I do think I'm going to try to keep Johnson alive, though, if I can. It's just funny how many times he almost dies, or does die on screen, just to be back for Halo 2, Halo 3. Let's go pick up Johnson. I want to see if his AI can actually f***ing stay alive on the Warthog. Oh, he is already more than half-life gone, so we're going to have to be really careful about where we place him. There is another flick move over here that I've been able to do a few times that speedrunners do, where you can just like flick up the side over here, and I didn't do it. Touch. We got to get the sniper rifle here. Oh, just missed it. Basically, there's like 3 points in this level that we're going around to now to save Marines. Gentlemen, I am your ride.
Roger that.
Come on, crew cut. Let's move them ever so slightly so we can get a little better covering fire, but they're hopefully far enough back that they're not going to die. There she is. She'll pick up the Marines and we can move on to the next spot. Johnson is so low. His health is so low. I need to get over there. Hang on, boys. Master Chef is coming. They're getting f***ed up right now. Actually, you know, they did a pretty good job of taking everybody out. Oh my god, this one's landing right on them too. Come on, Johnson, don't f***ing die on me. Johnson is one shot away from dying. We're so close. Oh, I'm fucking stupid. Foehammer's here already. You get out. You get out.
There's a gravity lift that ferries troops and supplies between the ship and the surface.
I think for a lot of people, the Truth and Reconciliation mission is where Halo really just clicks for them. I know it does for me. What's cool is the level basically feels like the game just finally found its footing. Like, look at this fucking design. It's unlike anything that I can think of at that time. And the game loop was already set. You know, you understand how you're going to be fighting. All of what you're expecting environments to look like like have kind of visually been established at this point, but now I think they had the chance to build that tone that felt uniquely Bungie at the time. Bungie is particularly known for their skyboxes, but the lack of light and contrast here really plays well into the creepiness of how this more linear level unfolds. Yeah, there are a few sections of fighting waves of enemies and stuff like that, but for the most part, this mission feels a lot more like Pillar of Autumn, where you're just moving from point A to point B. I can't remember if the dropship is a physical object or if you fall through. Oh, you get to stay inside. Oh, maybe the mission's over. Aw, come on. And as someone who's played this game dozens, if not hundreds of times, it's one of my favorites. They just have this tone that I love that hadn't really been established in the game yet, and there's a slower nature to this when you feel like this is almost like a special ops mission. Also, we get our first look at hunters in the campaign, which at the time when I was a kid terrified me because why the f wouldn't they die? Plus, riding the grav lift up right here, oh my god, this is so f***ing cool. With being kitted with a sniper rifle from the get-go, it still always baffles me just how much sniper ammo we were allowed to have in this first game. You know, Bungie was like, we're never doing that again, you guys are way too overpowered. Because I think what they really figured out in this game is the perfect balance of when to introduce weapons and how you choose to pick up what you wanted with what's available. Honestly, they may have nailed it on the first try. I don't even know that Halo 2, 3, Reach, ODST, I don't know that that ever really feels that way again. Like, the weapons just feel familiar at that point, but here, they're useful. And when the sniper rifle has this many bullets, you kind of just hold on to it for the whole mission if you can. And I don't think they really wanted that. That is why I'm a little weirded out that the shotgun is going to show up so early in the remake, or you know, there's just like so many guns from the franchise that we're seeing in the trailers that were never supposed to be in this game that I think are going to be a lot of fun to use for the first time in these environments, but I also wonder if it's going to undervalue the balance that this game kind of had, and if it's just not going to have that same care.
Coming here was reckless.
If there is one major complaint about Combat Evolved, beyond its natural lack of depth because of its age, it's that the levels do feel a bit samey. And because Bungie constantly was looking for ways to save development time, parts of the ship in this mission actually were repurposed for the mission keys when they f*** it all up with the flood stuff. And as we see with the second half of this game, you'll see that a few levels actually come back either in reverse, just the same exact level, but the design is just reversed. You're just basically running the other direction in the level design. There's maybe actually 5 original levels in this game, even though there's 10. Alright, what can be said about Silent Cartographer that I actually haven't said in like 5 other videos or other people that have made videos on this infamous mission? I mean, it's kind of just one big circle when you think about it. And I don't think you really realize that happens until you've played through this game a few times. You can actually run backwards and get to your first location a lot quicker, and skip a few of the checkpoints and cutscenes and dialogue. Like, it's actually pretty funny doing this backtracking area because the AI isn't even fully aware that you're there yet. Unlike the new game in the original CE, it was almost impossible to get a warthog through this area because of a couple trees and rocks that they've done to block it. You can do it, but it takes forever. And it's funny because this was the demo from the original game back in the day.
Are you ready to take the next step? In the full version of Halo, you'll find additional vehicles like tanks, plasma turrets, and aircraft.
And then Halo Studios actually kind of did it again for the beta playtest in last October. Because in a weird way, this mission may actually be the safest bet to selling the idea of remaking Halo. I just love also how the grunts, once you kill an elite or whoever is in charge of that area, they just start running from you. I don't know, I really love it, but it's honestly pretty simple compared to the rest of the game. I think my favorite thing about maybe Silent Cartographer, or maybe just a lot of the design when it comes to the Forerunner stuff, is just the brutalist look and how many things and how much detail is there that you were never even going to see. Like, there's this whole back underground area, no, not that one, behind opening up the security system that I'm pretty sure 99% of players have never even looked down to see. They just move on to the next objective. There's just so much life in this design that was unexpected for the time. Maybe even a little bit forgettable for most people, but for the longest time, I only had the demo version of Halo on PC, so I played through this mission so many times as a kid before I actually finally got an Xbox and got to play the whole game. Something about this beach environment has just lived in my head rent-free for years. And as far as the sandbox goes, I do think this is the first mission we get to use the rocket launcher. Also, I don't know why, but it kind of feels like every kid or every fan decided this was the level they were going to try to drive warthogs into the places they should have never been. I don't know what it is about driving a warthog into this hallway, but everyone's done it and it feels so good. Assault on the Control Room is just a beautiful level. For the time, it's kind of iconic. And it's also where the AI in the game just as a whole starts to get a lot f***ing harder. I love these little data pads, the design on them, just the Forerunner structures in this game are perfect. Trying to keep Marines alive in this section is so hard, I don't even try anymore. I was kind of unaware that a lot of people hate the tank in this game. The Scorpion tank definitely is its own beast in Combat Evolved. First of all, just like the Warthog, it can't be destroyed. You also get to handle both the machine gun and the cannon, which honestly I think I miss in every other game. It is fun if you have 2 players, you're playing co-op, you have someone else jump into the turret for you, but that's why CE is the perfect game to play solo. And I definitely see it as one of those levels that accidentally created a core gaming memory for me. Like, I think I spent hours in this level the first time with friends, just exploring every nook and cranny. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, this level makes you feel bad. As fun as it is and as beautiful as they made it, it does kind of feel like it drags a little bit on. And unfortunately, we're gonna be back here in just a few levels. No, that's mine, bitch. Yeah! But for the first time in this game, the cutscenes actually feel like they matter because we're about to get some information that opens up the story. It doesn't really give us any answers to questions, but I think it sets up a lot to be desired. And until now, the game was kind of just like shoot and run, shoot and run. We don't really know what's going on.
Oh, those Covenant fools. They must have known. There must have been signs.
Slow down. You're losing me.
Yeah, like half my YouTube audience. 343 Guilty Spark is probably my favorite mission in the whole game, but it's hard to talk about, especially if you've never played this game before. The change in motivation for the rest of the game happens in this level, and I don't want to ruin that for anyone that hasn't experienced it firsthand. I mean, this isn't a spoiler, but I kind of love the detail that the dev team just spawned a bunch of AR rifles firing at this point to simulate the action of Marines firing at the Covenant as they run away. Normally, you wouldn't be able to make it over here fast enough to see these assets placed behind the wall, but I threw on the Arachnophobia skull and we were able to fly over here before they despawn. And man, do I miss these comm nodes because the sound they give is just fucking beautiful. As repetitive and maze-like as this level can feel at times, the design in it is just so different than everything else we see on the Halo ring. Oh yeah, and the Flood shows up.
God damn it, Jenkins! Fire your weapon!
Okay, I gave you motherfuckers time, I gave you a warning. It's been like 17 minutes of video. Why are you still here if you've never played this game? We get some access to our shotgun, which is my favorite shotgun in the whole Halo series. And it's the first time that we get to be up close to see those early bones of the RTS intentions of the build of this original game. Watching the Flood and the Covenant go head to head based on the RNG of spawns instead of pre-animated animations is just really fucking cool to see. And oh, I guess you wanted to watch too. The rest of the mission really is just running for your life and doing the most minimal platforming I've ever seen. Very Half-Life inspired, but terrible execution. And then you run back out into the swampy areas and run into our bibbity bobbity boo, Guilty Spark himself. And now all of a sudden we can teleport. The library is this game's biggest snooze fest. Honestly, I don't even want to talk about it, I fucking hate it so much. It's just endless Flood spawning while you play enemy ping pong through the same copy and pasted hallways. It's just 4 floors of corridors, and infinite Flood bum rushing you. There's a game loop here that just kinda gets thrown out the window and doesn't really represent the rest of the game. Ugh, I hate it so much. Knowing what Bungie were up against, this just feels like a padded out section to make the game seem longer. And if you've played it, you know that that's all I need to say about it.
Cortana.
I've spent the last 12 hours cooped up in here watching you toady about, helping that thing get set to slit our throats.
Hold on now. He's a friend.
So after this little bitch ass tries to trick us into destroying the entire galaxy, he turns on us. And now we have a third enemy type that we have to juggle in this ever-growing ring of doom. 2 Betrayals is the beginning of the latter half of this title, and as good as this mission is, from here on out the level design follows the structure of running basically backwards through places we've already explored. It's got some great atmosphere compared to the last time we came this way, but the repetitive gameplay loop makes it feel a lot more like a chore than the rest of the game. Plus, it's so fucking easy to die in this one. The crossfire from all the different enemies can make for a real controller buster if you're not being careful, but we're Master Chief, so I guess we're gonna make it work. Yeah, sure, I'm not a speedrunner, but Keys has to be the most unfun mission in the game, so we're gonna flood bump. After all these years, it's weird little tricks like this that keep Halo feeling fresh, because without the flood bump, we'd be slogging through the same corridors, falling through a hole in the ship, mowing down a bunch of Flood and Covenant on the surface, riding the grav lift back up, and then fighting more copy and pasted hallways, all to find keys. So if you've never done a flood bump before, it's actually a lot easier than it seems. We're gonna run down this hallway, let the grunt run by, shoot this flood a couple of times just to get his attention, and now he's following us. I'm gonna switch to the anniversary. I'm sorry. I know, it's sacrilegious, but it just helps make the next part of this trick really easy. We have to line up on this little line on the wall. We're gonna hop over him, shoot him in the face, and crouch right on top of him, and oh, I've never actually been sent into the ceiling before. Okay, we made it. So it's never a guarantee, but if you get a reanimator flood, he'll be able to respawn basically and push you through that barrier. And now essentially we're at the end of the mission. We just bypassed an insane number of Flood and Covenant enemies to fight. You know, here he is, but unfortunately we can't move on to the next section of the game. We can't load that cutscene until we move down a certain hallway over here so we can actually spawn in the enemies that are supposed to attack us as soon as the cutscene is over. Alright, now we got that checkpoint and they're all here. And if you don't want to have to fight them, you know... If Keys is your favorite mission and I've done a terrible disservice to you, I am truly sorry. The only reason why I'm doing this is because the moment this cutscene is over, we're about to be bombarded. So if we can thin a few of them out, why not? That's probably good enough. I'm just gonna go over here and start the cutscene. Oh god, is that flood gonna come and kill me? No, I think, oh, are we gonna die right now? Unfortunately, we're too late to save Keys. So we basically just punch him in the face and jack his car keys. We did it. We finally made it to the end.
I think we're just getting started.
And I really have had a blast replaying through this legendary classic one last time. Sure, this mission is just retreading a lot of familiar ground from the opening mission, Pillar of Autumn, but we also get the Warthog Rung, and it still is a lot of fun. For 100,000 years, 343 Guilty Spark sat alone babysitting Halo, waiting for one poor soul to finally show up and just push his big red button with the index. And since we're the ones who accidentally released the flood, it would only seem fair we help the poor guy out, but nah, we're just gonna shoot everything. So from Spark's perspective, the ending isn't really like us being heroic, it's watching the first visitor he's had in 100,000 years blow up the entire installation he spent an eternity maintaining. Not very cash money, John, but you gotta admit, it's a really fun mission, and as a kid, it left me wanting more. My biggest takeaway from replaying this game is that the core gameplay loop has always been good, and honestly it's aged way better than a lot of other shooters from the same era, and maybe even better than some of the later games in the series. Steve Downes, Jen Taylor, David Scully, all magnificent performances, and deliver such a timeless performance that have kept them alive in my mind for decades. Jason Jones is widely regarded as the creative force behind most of Halo's earliest concepts. Joseph Staten, he joined later, but he kind of became the principal architect for that Bungie era and my childhood's version of the universe. Insanely enough, there were only about 40 people in total at Bungie at the time. Together, they created a universe that felt mysterious and alive. And normally, this is where I would spend a few minutes praising Marty O'Donnell for helping create one of the most iconic soundtracks in gaming history, and believe me, it is. The run he went on between CE and Reach is one of the greatest of all time, but the man has had an insane fall off. But rather than ending on that note, I'd like to focus on the dozens of artists, designers, writers, and programmers, actors, and composers who came together to make Halo possible. In the end, Halo wasn't the achievement of one person, it's the result of many people coming together and making something they wanted to play. Something Microsoft could learn a thing or two from right now. Did it need a remake or another one? I guess that's not really up for me to decide. If you're excited about this next step, who am I to take that away from you? If Halo Studios feels that revisiting the original trilogy is the best way for them to move forward, and maybe reconnect with what made this universe so compelling in the first place, then I guess I'm along for the ride. You've heard me many times throughout this video point out that CE was never a perfect game. For all of its brilliance, there was a lot of rough edges with the repetitive encounters, and entire sections that felt like they were pushing against the limits of what the hardware could do at the time. And ironically, those are the parts I'm most excited to revisit. Not because I want them replaced, but because I want to see how Halo Studios approaches the challenge. Do they smooth out that friction with new ideas? Or do they leave it untouched out of fear that changing too much will upset the nostalgia? And if there's one thing that Halo Studios should understand about this community, it's that we're still here. 25 years later, we're still talking about these games, still debating them. Not because they're flawless, but because they meant something to a lot of people. I'll be playing on July 28th, and I'm wishing the team a hesitant but hopeful win on this next outing. In a perfect world, you could make a Halo game that appeals to everyone. A game that satisfies both veterans, newcomers, and every version of what people think Halo should be. But if the last 20 years have taught us anything, it's that nobody has ever really figured out how to do that. Not even Bungie.
Were it so easy.
Did anyone else make it?
Scanning. Just
That's what I'm talking about.